Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's Digital Media Sync. I am Giulia Gooch with Agents of Branding and Digital Media Sync. I'm here at Known Co-working this lovely Tuesday morning, and it is a special Tuesday morning because today we get to vote. There we go. I'm trying to center this. All right. So everybody get out there and vote. Today, what I wanted to do was go over some of the simpler, have a simple overview of what I've been talking about the past few weeks, mostly in October. So we've been talking about doing holiday promotions, specifically for retail and online. I'm just taking a look at my phone to see if there's any questions from anybody, comments. Say hello, let me know if you voted, let me know that you're here and listening and watching. So I wanted to kind of talk about what I've been talking about the past 3 weeks. I'm going to share my screen because I've talked about very specific aspects of doing your holiday campaign. And then what I want to do is kind of wrap it all up and talk about what the whole campaign would look like if you put it together. So we'll do that. So I'm going to add that to the screen. There we go. So that's like much bigger. So actually, I wanted to show you, we've been actually doing a lot of work here. So this is just 9. I think I have like about 20 of these. But the ones that I wanted to concentrate on were this right here. So online sales in unprecedented times. So I've been scanning strategies and suggestions from the top commerce platforms and digital sales. So this was basically BigCommerce, I think, is what I went through. And then in part 2, what I talked about was more specifically advertising and very specifically Google Ads and what Google Ads had to say about doing online holiday sale promotion. And then in the third of this series, I talked mainly about the database, email database. So I wanted to bring basically everything together and include Facebook and Instagram, because Facebook and Instagram have really been doing a lot in their new shop section that has helped businesses with their promotion. So I'm going to go to my presentation. Hello, I'm back again. Just jump right back in. So I'm going to start sharing that now. So this is basically, what does a typical simple holiday campaign look like? And I'm going to talk about it from 4 different areas, and 3 of them we talked about, like I said, in previous known live digital media sync episodes. I guess we can call them episodes. So I'm going to go to the first slide. So here we're talking about in the past few weeks on Digital Media Sync, we've been looking at the opportunities to utilize platforms and processes in place to create a successful holiday sales campaign. The next few slides, this is going to be super quick. I think this is probably going to be like a 35 minute run through. The next few slides will detail strategies for each of the assets you should have in place, from website to email to social. Oh, hold on just one second. we go. All right. Somebody just asked how they joined, so I want to make sure that I'm online. So if you're out there, let me know that you're there. Oh, I am live. Look at that. Okay. It's voting day. I don't know. It's kooky. Okay. So I haven't quite started. Now I have. All right. So website. People kind of go back and forth, I guess, especially if they have hold on. Just making sure I have one of my visitors here and I didn't lose her. There we go. Boop. All right. So website. People go back and forth basically about whether they're going to build or repurpose a landing page so that it is quote unquote decorated for the holiday season with banners that are festive. So, if you have like your top header banners, categories that suggest holiday gifts for him, her, kids, home, whatever specialty. So whatever kind of products that you have available. And especially if you have manufacturers or vendors that provide promotional material to you, that you want to go ahead and grab any of that promotional material, any graphics, any of the descriptions that they provide for those particular products. So you want to also personalize your holiday experience. So whatever that holiday experience may be. One of our clients at Agents of Branding, they specifically have Scottish products and they are from Scotland. So kind of understanding and the storytelling aspect of what a typical Scottish holiday may be. For one thing, if their audience is also has an affinity with Scotland somehow, so having that those memories, that affinity, kind of setting the stage for that festiveness, or people who like to hear the stories about what different people do for the holidays. What their experiences are for different types of holidays. So personalizing your experience and just providing that kind of window into not only your brand, but your personal brand as well. And then the other thing too is consider visualizing gift set suggestions, right? So in sales speak, that's probably considered, upselling, so to speak, but it also makes the visitor experience and the shopping experience easier for people. If you get a little gift set with little items, people love. I know that's anecdotal, but I know I love opening up a box and like taking, here's one little thing, here's another little thing, this is super cool, that sort of thing. So whether it's one very special thing or a set that kind of is theme. So making that available to your customers is really very important, I think. Good morning, Rick. So that's your website. Thinking of those, even if you just think about doing those 3 simple things. Make sure that you build or repurpose a landing page. You quote unquote give it that holiday feel. When you have products that are that have photos or images that are available that are a little bit more festive, make sure that that gets loaded in as well. I know as far as we're repurposing a couple of our clients' page because they already have like the SEO built into the page. Personalize your holiday experience. So use a paragraph to kind of like tell your story, and then again consider visualizing gift sets. I'm going to go to the next slide. So email marketing, I would say, first of all, we had talked about this before in a previous digital media sync, and I think it was the 3rd one. So it was last week's, It's on the website, nhbknown.com. If you go to the Known Live, and in the drop-down menu is Digital Media Sync, and then it's the episode that says 3, the Holiday Sales 3. So what you want to do there is take a look, but basically the summary of that is, think about setting up a series of emails, and you can schedule these ahead of time. You can set them up, schedule them, automate them. You can make it really easy for yourself. And think about, from the perspective, again, early shopping. I've told the story, I think, in my previous Digital Media Sync, that my mom, if she's watching, she's probably going to be embarrassed for a second. But my mom probably already has her shopping done. She'll ask in September, what do her kids want? What do her grandkids want? Nieces and nephews. What do you want for Christmas? Because I'm going to do my shopping now. And she'll be probably done before Thanksgiving. So if you know your audience, you know who the early shoppers are, who the ones are that are shopping because they want to, they don't want to go into the store. They don't want to make a trip to the post office themselves. They want to, just have the gift sent directly to the receiver. And I know, like, a lot of small companies or small businesses, that's something to take into consideration. Because we're not all Amazon or Walmart or Target or that sort of thing. Gift guides. So thinking about sending out little gift guides that show gifts with a certain price range in mind. Top 5 gifts, again, for whatever category that you're thinking of. So that's something that is super helpful. These are all things to, think about as far as providing the best service for your customer. And then last minute shopping. So think ahead of time, and especially with the mail being the way it is, and whatever you're utilizing for your shipping methods, think about what last minute shopping means. Does it mean that somebody has to make sure that they've done their ordering, before the 18th, or before, to get delivery by the 24th of December? Or, does that matter if they get it before the Christmas holiday, but within the holiday season? Just keeping in mind everything that's going on in the world. So these are just, again, some very simple tips. I talk about this more extensively in the holiday marketing 3 that shows up. So that's another area to think about. And again, I'm whipping through this today. So I think everybody is out and voting. And then we're also going to share this on the website. We have this on YouTube and on Facebook Live as well. Okay. So this is something that I did not talk about extensively in the holiday marketing series that I did, but I did talk about this specifically in another previous Digital Media Sync. And that's talking about your Facebook and Instagram. And I broke it up between organic and paid media as well, because it's a very robust system that they have. So again, Facebook and Instagram now have a creator studio within the Facebook Business Manager account. So if you have a Facebook Business Manager, go to your Facebook page and take a look at what is available there. There is a creator studio, and you can toggle back and forth between Facebook and Instagram, and you can schedule out posts. So this has been super, super helpful. And again, thinking about what kind of post you are talking about. The early shopper, gift suggestions, budgeting options, stocking stuffers, $25 or less, $50 or less, $150 or less. any kind of special deals. Are you doing any special deals as far as discounts for friends and family or VIP? Again, sending gifts, or are you going to send gifts directly to the receiver? Are you set up for that, right? So when you're setting it up, it's like what the billing address is and then what the receiver address is. So making sure that you have that available as well. And then are you going to have gift wrapping available? And, a little note, I know one of our clients is offering gift wrap, free gift wrap, and a little handwritten note from the owner of that company. Gotta take a sip of tea. I am not drinking coffee today. I'm already completely wound up. So again, what's available for last minute shoppers, and then and then setting up your holiday gift categories in the shop area of the Facebook page. So I have actually worked with a couple of Facebook shop pages, and so we've been working on categories as far as what they have available for products, but then specifically you can set up a category or a collection that is specific to the holidays. So holiday collection, again, holiday gifts for him, for her, for kids, for the house, for the dog, for the cat, any way that you want to put that combination of collections in. And the thing about the shopping collections is that you can turn that on and off. So there's a toggle for each of those collections, and you can either hide the collection when, the holiday spirit is no longer among us, and then you can turn it back on when it is a holiday or when it is a gift giving time of some sort. So that's another thing to think about. All right, moving along. So creating a holiday campaign, again, in the shopping area or in the commerce area of your Facebook business manager section. You also have the availability to run ads specifically from the shop. So specifically from the collection or specifically from that particular category. And then it's basically, you can run it from the shop as opposed to running that from the ads manager. So that's something to consider. What I'm doing with a couple of my clients is I'm creating 2 campaigns. I'm splitting their budget between the 2 campaigns. So the one campaign, I'm doing a very specific carousel ad. It's not as dynamic. It doesn't show all the products. I've picked out certain products that are within certain categories. And I'm setting up a carousel ad. I'm doing 5 panels for the carousel ad. And I'm going to be talking about things other than just the product. I'm going to be talking about the gift wrap, notes that we're sending, that there's the capability to send the gift directly. It's a little bit more universal and it feels a little bit more static. And then the second campaign, what I'm doing is creating a campaign in the shop section of Facebook and Instagram that's directly from the holiday collections that I set up in the organic shop. So it's more product based, it's more category based, it's a little bit more dynamic. So the more of the products that people click on, the more of those products show up. So we're working on it from that perspective. Wow, I might be done before like 9 o'clock with this. So if anybody has any questions, now's the time to ask the questions. Again, I'm just covering very, very basic. This is a very basic campaign. I've run a couple of these, or I'm currently running a couple of these this year. And I thought it was a good idea to hop on for this particular digital media sync kind of wrap up what we were talking about in more detail the past 3 digital media syncs, actually the past 4 digital media syncs. Because even though I didn't talk about specifically holiday campaigns, for Facebook and Instagram, we can take what we talked about as far as Facebook and Instagram and just apply that kind of holiday theme that's in this particular segment, this 4th segment. So you can grab any one of those very specific segments, and then we can wrap it up with this one. All right, Google Ads. So here's the thing. I've talked about how on Google, the Google Shopping is still a little wonky after all these years. I don't know how many years Google Shopping has been around, but for a very long time. I know when I was working with another retail client that had a lot of products on a large database, it was super wonky to try to put the Google Shopping together. So that, that's what happened there. But it is possible to do so. So think about if the pros and cons of utilizing Google Shopping. I have not done a digital media sync about that yet. I would actually love to have an expert that does that. That is not necessarily my forte. I don't have to know everything. I just have to know the right people. But when you're talking about Google advertising, again, talk about it from the perspective, or think about it from the perspective of creating, a holiday theme, and understanding that there are quite a few holidays in December, and know who your audience is, know who your shoppers are and what they're shopping for. So utilize keywords that incorporate holiday terminology, as well as key gift categories like jewelry, accessory, games, kids. If it's, if people celebrate Christmas, stocking stuffers, Hanukkah keywords, Kwanzaa, Festivus. So just thinking about all of these items, and the whole big thing really is to know your audience, know who your shoppers are going to be, and just really starting from your core customers and working your way out from there. That's a very general rule of thumb, but it's definitely one that works even still and even more in this particular season, and to have a successful holiday season. So ad groups can be based on product groups as well, so you don't have a lot of mixing and matching of keywords, and you don't have a lot of overlap as well. So think about when you run a campaign, break out what the categories are going to be, and then make ad groups for those particular categories. It's a little bit of work in the beginning, but it's going to save a big headache as you move along. And then display ads with gift sets, or whatever it is that the products are. There's a couple of options in display where in Google Ads now, where you can have responsive ads, and you can kind of pick and choose a bunch of headlines, your logos, a bunch of different images, and a bunch of descriptions, and then they all kind of like roll around in a little picker situation, and then you have a headline matched with one description, and another headline matched with another description, and another image as well. So think about it from that perspective as far as ease of use for those ads, and let Google Ads do the work of serving the ads that are going to work best for you. But Google Display is really an area that's super, super helpful. The other thing too is if you have a brick and mortar business and you want people to actually come into the store, consider utilizing the Google Smart Ads. And again, that's something that I had talked about in a previous digital media sync. You can find it on the digital media sync tab at nhbknown.com. And that talks about the Google Smart Ads, where it's running on Google Maps. It's running as a display as well. It's running in search. So it's running in a lot of the Google products. It will track when people are calling your brick and mortar business. It will track when people are looking at the map to see where your business is, and also when people are clicking on your website. So if you want people to actually come into the store, consider running that ad as well. Okay, so it is 9 o'clock, and oftentimes I will run a whole hour and run until 9:30, but I think we pretty much cover everything. Again, just some additional recommendations to think about. The occasional pages should have text above the products to both improve SEO and help improve sales. So make sure you have really good descriptions along with your products. I brought Chris Tonsky from Fusion Design on a couple of months ago. And we talked about a formula that was basically WordPress plus WooCommerce plus, I believe it was Square was the platform, was the payment platform. But again, that's in the digital media sync tab. And what we talked about was utilizing your WooCommerce setup to have the best SEO. So making sure that you have a really good description, that you have, if you have products that have multiple colors, multiple sizes, don't just let the image speak for itself. Talk a little bit about what that product is. It both improves SEO, and it helps people understand what the product is, what it does, what the features and benefits of that particular product are. So really make sure, again, I know it's quite a bit of work, especially if you have a lot of products, but any work that you do ahead of time is just going to save you time and headache down the road, especially when you're making decisions as far as like how your sales are doing and what you need to do to improve your sales, whether they be online or in store. All right, so that's that. That was 6 or 7 slides, very, very quick. Just wanted to get all of that out there. So if you are thinking about doing a holiday campaign, those are the types of things to think about. Wow, I just looked at myself and I look like I just got up. So that, yeah, that's what you want to think about. If you are watching this later than November 3rd, 2020, and you have questions, please feel free. I'm always watching the comment section of the digital media syncs, so feel free to ask me any questions, and I'll answer them. Okay, so that's it for this digital media sync. Again, we'll be posting this both on Facebook. It's going to stay on Facebook, and it is going to stay on YouTube as well, and it will be on the nhbknown.com website under the Known Live tab, digital media sync. So it'll be there. Go ahead and like Known Co-working Facebook page. There's No Co-working Instagram, as well as YouTube channel. Digital Media Sync, we have the Facebook page and the Facebook group as well. Okay, I think that's it. All right, make sure you go out and vote. Ta-da, vote. And we'll see you same time next week. Bye.